Let us all remember that we are in the most holy presence of God.
Let me be the change I want to see. All that needs to be done and become the hope that I can be. Set me free from my fears and hesitations. Grant me courage and humility. Give me the spirit and start the change I long to see. Today I start the change I want to see. Even if I'm not the light, I can be the spark in faith, service and communion. The change we want to see, the change that begins in me. Today I start the change I want to see. Even if I'm not the light, I can be the spark in faith, service and communion. We want to see the change that begins in me. Live Jesus in our hearts forever.
Our Lasallian prayer. I will continue, O my God, to do all my actions for the love of you. Saint John Baptist de La Salle,
Pray
pray
for
for
us.
us.
Pray for us.
Saint Benil Romanson,
Pray
Pray
for us.
for us.
live with Jesus in our hearts.
Forever.
Forever. Everyone, good morning. I am Jeremiah So Adriano, the Inclusion Advocacy Unit Head of the Center for Inclusive Education, and today I'll be your host. Okay. So once again, thank you for coming. And before we start, I would like to give a special shout out to the following: Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Muntinlupa, St. Teresa's College of Quezon City, National Teachers College, Philippine Women's University of Calapan, Best Buddies Philippines, De La Salle University Dasmariñas, Benilde Senior High School, and De La Salle College of St. Benilde, Manila, and Antipolo. And of course, to all educators, parents, and students here. To start, I would like to introduce and welcome Mr. Martin Romero, the Director of the Center for Inclusive Education. So let us all welcome Sir Martin Romero.
Hi everyone, good morning. As mentioned, I'm Sir Martin, and I'm here to welcome you in this conversation about AI technology and Benilde inclusion. As we all know, AI is through this conversation. We will be able to integrate that interesting technology in our teaching to make our environment a more inclusive one. I honestly believe that AI technology is actually an ally in terms of making ourselves inclusive to our students, not only our students in CA, but to everyone. So I do hope that you will learn a lot from our speakers, that you will have a conversation with them, and that you will learn something that you can bring in your respective classrooms and if ever in your respective offices. So with that, again, thank you for joining us this morning, and I do hope that you will learn a lot and you will enjoy this conversation about AI and Biniljan inclusion. So enjoy, guys.
To introduce our guests, this morning, let us all welcome Sir Cliff Chua, the Learning Support Unit Head, Miss Angelica Ambal, the Case Manager, and Miss Lani Hove, the Operations Assistant of the Center for Inclusive Education.
Passionate and driven, Rogelio V. Delcano leverages his extensive background in business technology and education to push the boundaries of learning practices. Armed with a master's in computer education and currently pursuing his Doctor of Technology degree, he brings both deep expertise and a forward-thinking vision to his role as Director of the Center of Educational Technology at the De La Salle College of St. Benilde. A leader in integrating AI into education, Roger plays a key role in shaping the future of the field. He spearheads the development of crucial policies for ethical and effective AI implementation while simultaneously championing its inclusion in the curriculum. His leadership extends to training faculty in AI technologies, ensuring they're equipped to utilize this powerful tool effectively. His vision extends beyond AI. Roger oversees campus-wide initiatives that harness technology to transform teaching and learning. From strategic planning and project management to data analysis and visualization, he plays a pivotal role in empowering both faculty and students. His expertise further encompasses policy development, curriculum design, and research in critical areas like big data, e-inclusion, and competency assessment. Beyond his academic and administrative roles, Roger is a dedicated advocate. He actively contributes to corporate social responsibility initiatives, demonstrating his commitment to social impact through technology. His multifaceted approach to education and technology makes him a role model for innovation within the educational community. Mr. Delcano's work is a testament to his unwavering belief in the power of technology to enhance the educational landscape. He stands as a dedicated leader, constantly seeking to improve teaching and learning experiences for all. Let's all welcome Sir Roger.
Jennifer B. Fabiola is an associate professor at the School of Multidisciplinary Studies and the head of Learning Environment Unit with the Center of Education Technology. She holds a Doctor of Philosophy in Education from UP Diliman and a Master of Arts in Religious and Values Education from DLSU Manila. Driven by a deep-seated commitment to inclusivity and innovation, she integrates her expertise in special education with the principles of religious and values education. Her visionary approach to education extends beyond conventional boundaries, emphasizing the transformative potential of technology. She embraces the strategic integration of artificial intelligence in education, recognizing its capacity to support diverse learners, elevate teaching efficiency, unlock development opportunities, and enhance learning outcomes. Let us all welcome Doc Jen.
With more than a decade in the academe as an educator and trainer, Genesis Adriano has been designing and implementing learner-centered courses and training modules of different topics for both students and employees. From 2010 to the present, he has been facilitating student learning through lectures, activities, and mentoring, both online and on-site. These courses include psychology, sociology, human behavior, design thinking, innovation, and experience of applying his knowledge in creating learner-centered learning modules for adolescent to adult learners. Currently, he oversees the empowerment and culture building of faculty members in developing learner-centered instructional design to address the need for a sustainable and flexible mode of teaching and learning. On top of this, he is currently tapped as a resource person for the team that spearheads the institution's drive teaching and learning graduate studies backgrounds, and his experience as an innovation mentor has provided a rich perspective on creating effective and inclusive learning experiences and solutions. Yes, his name is Jen Adriano, Jen like a little girl. Let us all welcome Sir Jen Adriano.
Yon, thank you, CIE team. Pero yan, again, good morning and thank you, Sir Roger, Doc Jen, and Sir Jen for coming. Siguro let's start this discussion. Siguro ano rin, to bilang panimula, no? Just to give context to everyone, and I know some of our guests here ay hindi naman from Binil. You share kung for you ano yung Binildian education and what it is to be like Binildian educator.
Okay. Sige,
Sige
ako
po,
nang
Doc Jen.
sasagot. Ako nang sasagot yan. Okay. Well, Binildian education is deeply rooted in the Lasallian tradition. It is committed to creating an equitable and humane society by leading innovative and inclusive education accessible to students from varied economic backgrounds and learning abilities. Our approach is student-centered, emphasizing experiential learning, critical thinking, and the application of knowledge to real-world situations. This philosophy resonates deeply with our commitment to addressing educational barriers and realizing the dignity of every individual through inclusive and innovative teaching practices. Therefore, Binildian education is at its core is about nurturing creativity, inclusivity, and holistic development in an environment that values academic and personal growth. As a Binildian educator, my role extends beyond imparting knowledge. It involves being a facilitator of learning who encourages students to explore their potential, to innovate tirelessly, accessible to all. I recall a student with arthrogryposis. I think that's the term, ano? It is a condition where a child is born with joint contractures, yung stiff yung kanyang muscles. And when CIE emailed me about his condition, and at the same time, the student emailed me about his condition also, and he voiced his concerns about attending classes without assistance. Well, I didn't see a dilemma, but I saw an and compassion. Of course, I integrated hybrid learning approach. During that time, our format is blended learning. So, nandun siya sa bahay, nandun kami sa school. With every lecture, he joined us via Zoom. So, I created Zoom link every session, every synchronous or every face-to-face session. Well, with his presence via Zoom, my students are very happy having a student online, and at the same powerful reminder that learning has no bounds, and that inclusion is at the very fabric of CSB. So that's Binildian education, and that's what it takes to be a Binildian educator.
Doc Jen, thank you for sharing that. Ang ganda. Si Sir Roger, kayo pa.
Well, for me, Binildian education, we know that Binild welcomes technology. We also welcome changes. We adapt to the changes. We adapt to the needs of the industry. We adapt to the needs of the 21st century learning. So that's, for me, that's Binildian education.
Thank you, Sir Roger. Sige, Sir Jen.
Kanina ko pa iniisip yung Binildian education eh. Nag-joke nga kami dito tatlo kahapon, ano ba yung binilid in education? Siguro pag nag-enroll ka, yun na yun. Ah, baka mas experiential siya o baka pinakomplicate ko lang yung sagot. Pero nung sumasagot si Doc Jen, meron ako talagang favorite na story on what a Beniljan educator is. And then maybe with that kind of story, we will be able to figure out what or a slice of what Beniljan educator. And this is my
Oh.
favorite story again, no? At malamang paulit-ulit nyo nang narinig ito. But for those who have not yet heard of the story, during the pandemic, I received a text message or was it a call, parang ganyan, from Rochelle Martin, a teacher from Isdeas. Tapos, of course, noong time na yun, lahat nangangapa. Although kahit papano meron na tayong training on how to use technology as teachers, and we've been practicing edtech for more than 10 years now. No, talaga. Basta. We weren't prepared for that kind of situation, di ba? So, okay lang sana kung may internet. But at that time, si Rochelle told me na one of her students went back to the province at walang connection. Let alone, hindi ganun kalakas yung signal ng phone. Okay. So Rochelle, eventually they figured out na baka pwedeng text na lang. Because just to give context, during that time, ideally kapag meron kang estudyante na deaf, mas madali kapag may camera, senyas, di ba? Pero they eventually resulted to sending text messages to give instructions, to give assessment, and to do the learning. So yun, para sa akin, yun ang isang Beniljan educator. O isang magandang kwento, isang magandang halimbawa ng Beniljan educator. Maybe Rochelle will hate me for telling this over and over again. But for me, yun yung isang madaling example of what Beniljan educator, Beniljan education is. Thanks.
Thank you, Sir Jen. Gusto ko lang ulitin yung mga nabanggit nyo, no? Sabi ni Doc Jen, pag meron silang nakikitang challenge, nakikita niya siya as an opportunity, no? Opportunity to adapt. Nabanggit din ni Sir Roger yon, yung adaptability, yung tawag dito, as Benildians, we welcome technology, innovation for the 21st century learners. And nabanggit din ni Sir Jen, na yun nga, is a concrete example wherein we as Benildian educators adapted para makapagbigay ng education sa isang estudyante. Na-curious lang ako, no? Aside from the students, meron bang kayong experience, personal experience as an educator, wherein tumulong din kayo sa kapwa niyo educator? May it be Benildian or hindi?
Oh, yes, we had an opportunity before. Yung ano to sa CHED ito, yung bayanihan something, yung in which si CHED asked us to train yung ibang mga teachers in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So it was a huge project which we were given an opportunity to train faculty members, teachers. I am not so sure. Pero most of them are college teachers. So, naalala ko noon, parang it was a week ata yun, long na training. So, we divided it, yung merong sa morning, merong sa afternoon. So, we taught them how to use Google Classroom at the time kasi yan yung pinaka-available sa kanila Tapos, we also nung pandemic, we were already using LMS. So meron na tayong Big Sky niyan. At in fact may policy na rin tayo on how to use yung mga ganitong cases kung halimbawa may experience natin yung walang pasok, magsi-switch tayo online or hybrid or blended. So, meron na tayong policy at that time. Dahil doon sa policy na yon, medyo natulungan tayo nun kasi when we experienced COVID, medyo madali na sa ating nag-adjust. Although, syempre, hindi naman lahat tayo ready at that time. Pero because of that experience, we were able to train mga faculty nga from different schools. And we were able to share our experiences, our insights, and more than that, natuto rin kami sa kanila yung kung ano yung mga concerns nila, ano yung mga problema nila. Alignment na, etong pwede niyong gawin, eto yung mga recommendation natin, let's see if this will work or not. So yun yung naging experience natin at that time. So siguro si Doc Jen or si Jen can also add on that.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Sa akin naman, because my work in CET is capacity building activities for faculty. So my role is to train our team. Hindi kong sinasabi ko sa mga kasama ko ay kahit isa lang yung magpa-train, we are going to accommodate them. So we do not say, hindi, dapat grupo yan. Hindi. Kahit isa lang siya, ititrain namin. And even Saturday, because during Saturdays kasi may mga teachers na doon lang sila available. I also told Sir Roger to give me a schedule during Saturday. So this is how I see the need of our teachers. So whenever there are cases like this, no, it's an opportunity for us to develop our capacity building activities for the next coming term. Thank you.
For me, ano naman, mas nakita ko yung culture building, yung mga mahirap i-quantify. 14 years ago, even before I came in, yung culture talaga ng EdTech was tambayan siya. Okay, pwede ka tumambay doon, pwede ka makapagkwentuhan, kahit di ka nag-EdTech. And eventually, it extended, lumaki yung group, pero meron pa rin ganung flavor na pwede kang tumambay, pwede kang makipagkwentuhan. At dahil dun sa small community of practice na yon, we get to understand and hopefully empathize with teachers concerns nila or any opportunities na meron kami to reach out to them. Uy, baka pwede mo gawin to. Not only on an EdTech perspective, pwede rin siyang teaching and learning and kung ano man. So ganun ko siya nakikita yung paano ba yung pagtulong namin, if that's a proper term for that. Gusto ko yung ginagawa lagi ni Miss Gina. Munta ka sa EdTech office, pwede ka huminga. We can talk about other things. So, at dahil doon, nabibuild yung community of practice. Which eventually, i-relate ko lang dun sa kwento ni Sir Roger, which eventually saved us. Yun yung tamang term, saved us. Because that small community of practice eventually turned out to be the ones who helped build, empower teachers from different institutions during the lockdown.
Thank you.
May dadagdag
Sige,
ako.
sir.
Oo, naalala ko bro, yung Sir Jen and Doc Jen, yung naalala niyo yung AI for HEIs. Yun. So, alam nyo yung at that time kasi when we had yung event na yan, yung sa mga schools wala pang ganung mga events at that time. So, nagkaroon tayo ng opportunity, shared her expertise about AI. So sa akin, magandang opportunity yon to start with what AI is, anong pwede niyang gawin, and not only limited to Benil, but we also invited other schools So yan, nagkaroon tayo ng opportunity to share what AI is. Yung, kailan ba to? Was this last year? Sir
August,
Jen?
sir. August last year.
So yan. So yan, ganyan pa lang. So nagkaroon na tayo ng opportunity. So, ganyan talaga ang, kumbaga, we are ready and we are always, kumbaga, open to whatever emerging technologies that we have there. Yan siya. So, yun lang gusto kong idagdag.
Yeah, I think meron talaga tayong concern sa connection with Sir Jemai. But picking up on that, sir, no, as Sir Jemai is currently addressing the concern, yun din yung allow us to understand also ano ba yung nangyayari sa ibang schools. Diba? I remember of other schools na parang yung fear. Tayo rin naman, takot din tayo nung time na yun eh. Parang we just allowed or facilitated a discussion. And we were lucky enough to get yun nga si Professor Trish from Deakin, sila Doc Bentianki, sila Sir Tugel, sila Miss Van.
Yes,
Yun.
tama.
Thank you for sharing at nakabalik na ako. Saglit lang naman ako nawala. Gusto ko lang i-point out yung mga nabanggit nyo kanina. Sir Roger, naaalala ko yun, yung bayanihan. It was August 2020. Parang less than 6 months in ng lockdowns ng pandemic. We were tapped by CHED that time, no, na tumulong. And gusto ko siyang i-relate dun sa nabanggit ni Sir Jen na tama, because of the culture na nabuo through EdTech. Maraming natap na professors within the college para tumulong na palabas naman. Gusto ko lang malaman, no, kailan ba nag-start yung EdTech, or para lang mas may idea yung mga nanonood na kahit taga Binild, no, baka hindi lang sila maalam pa kung kailan nag-start yung EdTech. Kasi naalala ko, nakapag-OJT pa ako. Brief
Palagay ko
history lang ng
2015,
EdTech.
parang ganyan siya, 2015, kung hindi ako nagkakamali.
Formally, sir, parang ganun.
Formally, yes.
Pero I think si Sir Tugel has been exploring EdTech even during the late 90s.
Yes, Moodlers.
Web City,
Yeah.
sir. Tama ba? Meron ganun Web City. Pero very limited.
Web City, yes.
Very limited lang yata sila. And if I remember correctly, baka mali po ako pero parang si Sir Tony Ingles din yata tried to pero baka
Pero I think, yes, maganda yung nabanggit ni Sir Glenn, no? Basically around 2009, kasi around 2012, nakapag-internship pa ako under EdTech kay Sir Tugel, no? And naalala ko yung nagtitrain kami. Pero Moodle pa lang yung gamit, hindi pa siya yung Big Sky natin ngayon. And doon mapapakita rin yung nabanggit niya ni Sir Jen na culture building na eventually nag-translate sa adaptability, na nagpakita ng adaptability natin as Benildian educators, no? And ngayon, gaya na nabanggit ni Sir Roger kanina, na we welcome technology and innovation na alam natin for the past few years, no, lalo na nung pandemic, meron na. Pero mas naging kilala siya because of the pandemic and yung paglabas ng ChatGPT. So ngayon, ang tanong ko is, what is the stand of Binild with regards to AI? And syempre, in relation to education.
Sige, siguro, umpisahan ko na dyan. Well, as I mentioned earlier, si Binild kasi is open for innovation. So with that in mind, Binild welcome ito as a tool, as an AI tool to help us, to help teachers, to help students, to help staff maybe, or yung associates natin to make their work efficient, maybe to have a personalized learning, although wala pa tayo dyan, and improve decision making, especially if you already have data. And of course, AI can help with that. In fact, tayo siguro yung isa sa mga schools na nagkaroon ng AI policy na in which well, we can be proud on this kasi nga talagang pinagtuunan natin ito ng pansin yung policy natin, AI policy natin, in which we have to adopt the principle of ethical and effective use of AI tools. So yan basically yung pinaka-gist, no? We respect values, we respect innovation, we respect accountability, we respect privacy, safety, integrity, all of this. Pero syempre, ang ano naman nito, ang common denominator nito is to improve the teaching and learning experiences of both students, teachers, admin, and even yung buong experience ng for me yan yung stance ng BNILD. BNILD welcomes emerging technology, not only AI, but even mga assistive technology that will help our persons with disabilities. So yan lang sa akin. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Roger. Doc Jen?
Ako, I'm happy that CSB welcomes the use of artificial intelligence. And I am also glad because we came up with a policy. Because looking at or exploring at AI, it really helped me as a teacher transform my teaching experience. We've been giving trainings to faculty members and also students on how to use artificial intelligence ethically and responsibly. And I hope our teachers, I think our teachers are open to learning more about the use of artificial intelligence. And this can really help you automate yung medyo matagal mong ginagawa, napapabilis na siya ngayon. But you have to use it ethically and responsibly. And that is, of course, ingrained in the policy that was created by the policy body. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc Jen. Sir Jen, do you want to add something?
Ayun, nabanggit ni Sir Roger at ni Doc Jen, of course, during the initial phase, hindi ko alam kung tama yung term, pero the early stages, as we were exploring AI, nakakatakot talaga siya. Because wala kang pwedeng mag-claim na expert nung time na yun. We didn't know what's going to happen. We didn't know even what's happening. But what we know is that it's going to change the landscape, for lack of better term, landscape of education. I remember talking to Sir Roger about it, and then na-realize namin na, okay, this is not just AI, this is generally technology. Generally emerging technology. Tapos nung tinitignan namin, parang, siguro sir, para tong para siyang yung CD-ROM dati. Habang, di ba? Yung Encarta, parang
Encarta?
Di ba? May Encarta nun eh.
So, encyclopedia.
Yes sir, di ba? Tapos naka-CD-ROM siya.
Yeah.
ng encyclopedia, nandun lang siya sa CD-ROM. Nakakatakot kasi ng time na yun. Marami kasi siyang di ba? Marami siyang kaakibat eh. Hindi lang talaga siya education. Meron din siyang tatamaan din yung kabuhayan ng tao, perspectives, yung role mo as a teacher, mag-iiba din role nila as a student. So nung time na yun, figure out namin ni Sir Roger, or at least yung discussion namin, yung mga kwentuhan namin dito sa office nila Doc Jen, nila Jack, nila Miss G. So yung punot dulo was, this is not new. This adjustment isn't new. We've done this before with the CD-ROMs. We've done this with Google. We've done this with Wikipedia. We just have to accept that the roles will change, perspectives will change. But at the end of the day, hindi mo siya maiiwasan, kaya gumawa na tayo ng guidelines. Let's teach teachers, let's teach students how to use it ethically. So that was also the driving force why nagkaroon tayo ng policy. Kasi kung hindi natin siya gagawin, kung hindi natin siya lalagyan ng guidelines, baka hindi natin siya magamit ethically. Parang yun. Yun lang naman.
Yes. In fact, Sir Jen, di ba dati nabanggit mo sa akin, parang yung, alam ko nakwento mo to sa akin, yung ibang schools, they just allow, wala silang rule eh. Yung iba naman, hindi. Kailangan ma-define muna natin yung policy natin before we could use these AI tools. Now, in fact, tayo yung parang yung sa pangalawa tayo na, teka lang muna, hindi natin alam kung ano mangyayari, di ba? Kasi, wag muna tayong gumamit niyan. So, because of that, na limitation natin at that time, kasi we didn't know yet what AI was, to create that policy. So, ang ginawa natin dyan, actually, we ask representatives from different schools to be our AI champions.
Yeah.
Yan. So, kumuha tayo sa iba't ibang mga representative ng mga iba't ibang schools. So, we met them, and then ganun din sa DTO, sina Miss Shirley, sina Attorney Janice, sina Ma'am team yan eh. So, merong AI committee, and we also have AI champion. So, magkaiba yon. So, yung AI committee, this was responsible for creating the policy. So, yun, back and forth yun. Tapos, ang ginagawa natin doon, so we drafted the policy, pero it didn't stop there. We asked the AI champions to review the policy. Kasi kaya sila AI champion at the time, dun sa nila, sa mga subjects nila. So, they were already familiar with what AI is. So, alam na nila yon. So, ang ginawa nga natin doon, sige, yung AI committee, nag-draft ngayon tayo ng policy, and then we ask the AI champions to review. Back and forth yon. Ang tagal nung review noon. Pabalik-balik yun until we came up with the policy. Pero it didn't stop there. Meron din syempreng thoughts and recommendations yung si Brother President. Actually, si Brother Dodo, alam niya ang mga pangyayaring to. In fact, Brother Dodo himself supports AI. Kaya because of this, kumbaga, support mechanism from Brother Dodo to Sir Chancellor Ben to VCA Angelo, Academic Council. So because of this support, yun nga, natapos natin, nangyari itong policy natin. But though we have policy, hindi natapos doon. Nagkaroon tayo ng courses offered for faculty and AI courses for faculty and students, in which nando dun yung policy natin, and then we upload there yung mga updates about AI. So dun ngayon sila nagkakaroon ng opportunity to be updated about AI. Tapos we also ask them to sign yung form, yung AI acknowledgement form. So tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung course na yan, offered to students and faculty. Tapos nakakatuwa yun kasi when we gathered yung kanilang mga open forum discussions, ang ganda, naka-form kami ng ng mga recommendations about the training, mga experiences namin on AI tool and policy creation. Thank you.
Thank you po sa pag-share ninyo. Nakakatuwa, no? Na actually, let me relate it dun sa ginawa rin namin dito sa inclusion. Kasi isa sa mga unang framework na ginamit namin ay yung kina-INSCAO, na sa inclusive education, kailangan mo ng leadership. So in terms of sa AI, may by any Brother Dodo, obviously. Nang nabanggit nyo po na meron kayong AI committee, meron kayong AI champions para para masimulan yung policy. And lastly, yung practice. Yun nga, bumuo kayo ng policy, gumawa kayo ng mga training para sa mga teachers ni Benerd, no? Pero kanina po, kanina nyo pa nababanggit yung ethical use of AI. Ano po ba ang definition nyo ng ethical use of AI?
Siguro we refer to the policy. So siguro,
Yes.
I will try to open the policy. So habang ina-open ko yan, so siguro mag-share muna sa atin si either Doc Jen or si Jen para at least we are clear on that. Sige, as I open the policy.
And personally, yung ethical use is just being respectful of the practice, respect nung paggalang din sa teacher, paggalang din sa pag-aaral. Kung alam mo naman din to a certain extent when what you are doing is not ethical, it may be legal or it may not be illegal, but you know in your heart na ethical or unethical siya. Hindi dahil walang batas, pwede na lahat. Diba? So, while Sir Rol, ethical use ng AI is that alam mo pag ginamit mo siya, alam mo kung mali o hindi, regardless. Yan. Siguro nasa mas morals or values siya nakasalalay, I suppose.
Yeah, correct. Recently, we conducted a forum also on academic honesty. Yeah, and we discussed about plagiarism. We discussed about cheating. So we presented the continuum, no? I think there are 10, which I also adapted, no, from a recent training abroad. Ang sabi ko dito, which one is integrity and which one is dishonesty? So like for example, pag gumamit ka ng ChatGPT, let's be specific with an AI tool. Siguro sa inyo gumagamit, sino sa inyo ang hindi pa nagamit ng chat? At iwagay-why. Hindi pa nagamit. To. Okay. Yung iba sa atin ay very honest, ano? Talagang me, I use AI. The others naman, ang tawag natin doon ay hindi nila sinasabi, these are shadow users. But, you know, when you check their phone or their laptop, AI is there, no? Naka-bookmark pa nga. Just like my students, pag nag-screenshot sila ng kanilang laptop, nakikita ko nandun na yung ChatGPT, no? ChatGPT. Well, sabi nga ni Sir Jen, alam mo kung tama o mali, 'di ba? Very basic 'yan. Maliit pa tayo, sinabi na sa atin, mali 'yan, tama 'yan. Pag sinubmit ko ba ito, tama to o mali, kahit sa mga estudyante o tayo na nag-aaral sa masters natin o sa doctorate natin, 'di ba? When you're going to submit, for example, a paper and you know that 50% of that comes from ChatGPT, so how would you feel submitting that? Well, this time, magiging specific tayo sa estudyante, ano ang accepted, ano ang hindi. Kasi kung minsan nung mga bata, I mean, these are still kids, you know, and we are the oldest person in the classroom. But if this is not clear in our policy, what is acceptable and what is not, what is cheating and what is not, then probably our students will be confused. So when we tell our students, copy-paste, kinapin mo to, no? Kasi meron kang word na ethical ba yan o unethical? I think we need to have more discussions, no, before we start the term to our students regarding the use of ChatGPT, regarding the use of AI. If we really embrace these technologies in CSB, yun lang ang akin.
Sa akin ito, nakita ko na yung, so there is a specific section in our policy about principles for ethical and effective use of AI tools and technology. So we have 10 principles there. Yung una nating principle doon, yung principle of observable outcomes, respect for human rights and college values, principle of innovation, principle of accountability, principle of privacy, safety and integrity, respect for intellectual property rights of others, principle of fairness, equity, and non-discrimination, and responsiveness. So, as you can see, yung ating mismong policy has a lot to discuss about the said topic or the said yung ethical nga or being ethical in the use of AI. So we have several principles on that.
Yan, thank you po sa pag-share ninyo and ganda. Open si Binil, and aside from that, hello, naglag ba ako?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. May DPO personnel na tayo dito sa loob ng office. So hi sirs. Sige, ulitin ko lang. Natuwa lang ako as a Biniljan and Biniljan educator na number one, open si Binil dito. Kasi tama wala naman tayong magagawa. Nandiyan na siya. And alam naman natin deep inside na even before the policy, ginagamit na rin ng mga estudyante natin to. Nakakatuwa na open tayo, pero handa rin tayo with the policy, with the mindset of the community. Kanina nabanggit niyo yung yung perspective ng mga tao, ng mga Biniljan. Kamusta ba? Meron ba kayong parang feedback or parang comments or balita sa perspective ng mga kapwa natin Biniljan associates or mga employees?
Oh yeah, we do. In fact, 'di ba meron tayong course nga natin sa Big Sky natin. So we have two courses offered to one for the students and one for our associates and faculty, teaching and non-teaching associates. Doon sa students natin, kumbaga para sila mixed, kumbaga sa mixed reaction. So, merong they are in favor. Nakakatuwa kasi yung mga student natin, sila mismo nagsasabi na kumbaga we should or they should be responsible users of AI tools. Yung iba sa kanila, sabi nila, hindi ko to gagamitin kasi kumuha to ng mga data without asking permission. Sila mismo nagsasabi ng ganon. Tapos meron namang sabi nila, naku, ang ganda naman ng policy natin and they are so thankful about Binil being open for such na hindi tayo nagsarado ng pintuan na hindi kami gagamit diyan, hindi namin gagamit yung AI tool. So na-appreciate nila yung mga students natin. Tapos ang maganda pa doon, mismo yung mga programs, nagkakaroon sila yung halimbawa SDG na pinag-usapan nila yon on how they can ethically, safely use yung AI. So ang ganda, sila mismo may mga programa at yung mga students natin na-appreciate nila yon. Yung mga yon, meron din nagsasabi na dapat we should not be overly relying on AI tools. Pwede siyang gamitin pero dapat walang over reliance on that. So sila mismo aware, dapat hindi siya, kung gagamitin natin siya, dapat wag tayong so much relied on the AI technology. Yung iba naman worried sila na naku, baka yung sa cheating, yung mga ganon. So basically, yun yung mga concerns nila. At sa mga teachers din naman, meron din may gusto, meron din may ayaw. Pero good for us because of our AI and students, nakakapag-share tayo doon ng halimbawa, example of prompts, what AI can do, let's say updates from Europe, updates from US na sila mismo, hindi lang naman tayo may problema niyan, sila rin sa Europe din, pati sa US, ganyan din ang problema nila Pero since progressive sila, they adopted. And they just release policies, guidelines. At yan yung ginawa din natin. Worried tayo, pero and use them or use these AI tools safely. Yan. And ethically. Yun. So thank you. Yun yung aking share.
Thank you, Sir Roger. Doc Jen, do you want to add something po?
I think we need to be more transparent to. I think some of our students are still unaware, no? Because one time I conducted a survey in my classroom. Alam mo ba, meron akong estudyante, may mga estudyante siguro 5, sinabi na they don't use AI because they trust their brain. They trust their human intelligence. Human intelligence. Okay, so sabi ko, well, that's very good. Pero yung iba naman, I use it, kaya lang ang kulang sa kanila na nababanggit, yung discussions, is it allowed or not? Kasi yung iba patago nga ang paggamit, di ba? Kasi tama sa syllabus, sa guidelines on how to use artificial intelligence in submitting your output, of course, no, they will be afraid. They might be caught up dishonest in their work, no? Sasabihin ng teacher, you copied. Gumamit pa ang teacher halimbawa ng anong tawag nito, yung pang-detect, at nakalagay doon ay 100% artificial intelligence. Tapos ini-screenshot niya, pinadala sa estudyante. Mas active tayo sa pag-discuss on the use of artificial intelligence to our students in our classroom and the activities that they're going to submit. And I think now with the presence of artificial intelligence now in our education, talagang it's a paradigm shift, no? Magbabago lahat. No? Well, depende kung ikaw ay gumagamit, kung nagka-adapt ka. Pero kung hindi naman, so nandun ka pa rin dun sa traditional, I think artificial intelligence, those people, no, who are adapting the use of artificial intelligence. Kasi artificial intelligence really is very powerful tool. No, ako I very strong in using artificial intelligence because it helped me a lot. No, streamline my work, bawas yung mga dati kong ginagawa ng 5 oras, nagagawa ko siya ng 1 oras, minsan pa nga 30 minutes. Tapos na, no? Pero ano ang acceptable at hindi acceptable? Siguro mas marami pang sessions na ganito, not only in our classroom, but probably in our own school with the presence of our chairpersons or deans, no? So that all our teachers, walang hindi, lahat kasali, no? Lahat ay magbigay ng kanilang perspectives, opinion sa paggamit ng artificial intelligence, and in there they can come up with their own probably collective policy, no, that they can integrate. Yun lang sa akin.
Thank you, Doc. Sir Jen?
Sorry na wala ako. May sinagot akong tanong sa chat eh. So, pero just to share, kasi direct message, so hindi ako sure kung pwede ko banggitin yung name. Pero this is related also to the AI policy. So tinanong ako, meron na raw po ba tayong specify minor or major offense if a student uses AI to generate text content? Like if it's a certain, meron ba tayo acceptable percentage? As far as I know po, maybe my colleagues can also answer. No? As far as I know, we are on the works of doing that. Pero wala pa po tayong final. So kaya hindi rin kami makasagot na meron na. Pero what I can assure you po, or everyone, no, is that we are on the work. So first, kailangan din po natin tignan yung part.
Meron tayong proposed AI misuse and abuse disciplinary guide. I sent this last year, December 4 pa. So, pinag-aaralan ngayon ito. So, meron dito sa ano na to, sa guidelines na to na misuse and abuse disciplinary guide. So, meron dito in-identify tayo mga minor offense or offenses, possible sanctions for minor offenses, major ano yung pwede nating panggawin like ang mahalaga kasi dito sa pinopropose natin ito kasi kabit-kabit ito eh. We have a policy, tapos we have naman yung misuse and abuse disciplinary guide. Ang pinakamahalaga dito sa na-propose natin na ito ay yung ano yung restorative programs. So dapat kasi yun yung ano eh, yun yung mahalaga doon, ba't sila nangyaring ganon gawin in order for us to prevent. Yan, yung ganon. Tsaka yung, meron na bang percent, sa mga nababasa ko, ang acceptable sa kanila, 40% and below. Kasi pagka more than 40% na, dapat ayusin na siya. Dapat 40% and below lang ang dapat generated ng AI. So yan, thank you.
Thank you po. Thank you po dun sa mga na-share ninyo. Gusto ko yung nababanggit nyo, paulit-ulit na nababanggit na AI is a tool. Siya nang bahala. Siya na mag-iisip para sa akin, no? May ibang mga taong ganun. Pero lagi yung ini-emphasize na AI is just a tool. So, ano kaya right now sa current estado ng AI sa BNILD? Ano ang role niya sa BNILD education? Na nasimulan nyo na rin naman kung nabanggit
Okay.
kanina.
Sa akin siguro sa experience ko na lang kasi nagtuturo din naman ako and then I use yung AI in the course that I handle. Sa akin kasi ano eh, 'di ba, we have an LMS yung ating Big Sky. So gawa na yung course ko pero as I look at my course doon sa Big Sky natin that by the way, doon sa mga hindi nakakaalam, yung Big Sky namin, yan yung pangalan ng LMS namin. So, may mga kulang-kulang ako dong information na sana if I So dahil sa ano, dahil sa generative AIs, yung mga courses ko walang introduction yon. So by simply plugging in, putting in ano yung mga objectives ko, ano yung mga output ko, I was able to generate yung introduction about my courses. Eh dati, ang hirap kong gawin yun kasi pagtutuunan ko ng pansin yun, ang tagal gawin yun eh, di ba? And aside from that, we are yung text mo, it will be converted into a voice. So aside from dun text lang, meron pa akong yung voice that yung kung ano yung tinype ko doon, i-read niya yon, isi-save niya yon as MP3. So yung students ngayon natin now have an option whether gusto niya ba basahin o pakinggan na lang. So yun, because of AI, napabilis at ang bilis gawin ito in just 2 minutes ang lahat na kung i-voice over ko yon, i-record ko yon, magkakamali ako, i-edit ko yon. Siguro instead me of doing everything in a week's time, tapos siya in 10 minutes. So yun, ganun sa akin nakatulong yung AI. And aside from that, yung mga kasi pwede rin halimbawa gusto mong mag-generate ng mga images that are related to your topic, pwede rin si AI. Nagagamit ko rin si AI for preparing yung mga activities. Yung mga dati kong mga activities na pasay na, eto, ang daling gumawa. So all you need to do is to prompt and then it will generate you possible different ways of doing the same thing in a different way. So talagang ganun yung yun yung mga naging experience ko pa teach. So it helped me in identifying yung mga activities ko. Tapos kung halimbawa medyo mahirap yung topic, so I can ask GPT to make it easier. So sobrang nakakatulong siya sa akin as educator. So siguro baka may maalala pa ako, pero in the meantime, siguro I pass on the ball to Jen and Doc Jen.
Okay, sige. Thank you. Sabi ko kanina, as a Benildian educator, it means we innovate tirelessly, di ba? So you are going to find ways really to improve your teaching. I've been with CSB for over 25 years, ano? Yung aking lesson noon, yung aking motivation noon, ay hindi na siya pwede ngayon. 'Di ba? So anong pwede kong gawin? Kung minsan naman may araw na mauubusan ka ng gawin. Kaya pwede mong magamit yung AI tool, no, to help you think, no, and improve your strategies or your activities inside the classroom. Maraming pwedeng paraan diyan. So yung mga bata halimbawa na ayaw ng ganitong klaseng style ng teaching mo, well, with the use of artificial intelligence, you just prompt the AI to give of students, diverse students, no, it will give you, an instant answer, no. Pero doon naman papasok yung critical thinking ng teacher. Pwede ba to? Bagay ba to sa mga estudyante ko, no? So we always need to contextualize whenever we use any of these tools. Minsan sabi ko nga ang AI para siyang guardian angel kasi hindi ko na alam ang gagawin ko mamaya. May magsasabi sa akin ganito lang 'yon. Ganito lang. Na-inspire ako lagi kasi na-challenge ako dito sa generate ko from AI. Kasi sabi ko, wow, ang galing niya. Dapat meron pa akong itatanong sa kanya, no? So when I converse with AI, hindi ko namamalayan, tumatagal na yung conversation naming dalawa, nagpapalitan kami until I come up with my own voice. So if I ask AI, for example, to help me with any task, no, I communicate with AI. Alam mo yung magtuturo siya sa iyo halimbawa sa bagay na hindi mo alam, no? Tapos nagpapalitan kayo until finally makuha mo yung ito nga 'yon, no? That like for us teachers, our students who have yung merong problema sa klase, sometimes no, we help them using our time, no, we help them, tutor them, and that's the reason also we get tutors, no, for our kids na mahina sa math o mahina sa English, in math or in English because of the tutor. So ang AI parang siyang tutor. pagka mahirapan ka, yung sa statistics ko na hindi ko alam, I ask AI to help me, and in there, okay, ganun lang pala yon. So para siyang magical ang dating, pero of course, nandun pa rin yung human aspect na I do not really accept everything that AI generates. But the critical thinking comes when you think and analyze what has been generated, and after that, that's where you're going to decide whether you accept it or not. So what AI gives is that it will give you an informed decision. Yun.
Pareho kami ni Doc Jen. Ginagamit ko din siya sa sa mga activities, sa pag-generate ng ganun. Mo sa mga bata, kahit ikaw, kahit isang beses lang nila dadaanan yon, pero kunyari every term, meron kang specific activity, tapos paulit-ulit na lang every term. Kahit ikaw magsasawa ka din. And then, if I use AI, para maiba naman you have the same objectives, pero iba lang yung atake mo. Iba yung activity, or ibang approach, ibang perspective. So, ang purpose ng AI sa akin, or kung paano siya ang weird kasi ako lang naman, yun, like, diba usually brainstorming, mga magkakaibigan, ganyan, bigay ng ideas. Pero, nakita ko siya na tool para mag-brainstorm, Medyo weird talaga eh. Mag-brainstorm mag-isa. Kasi yung activity ko, sabihin ko, ano ba yung better way to do this, to conduct this, tapos papalitan mo kunyari yung target audience, paano kung kunyari preschool sila, and then you get something out of it also, and then kunyari pag high school, you get something out of it, and then I will also emphasize doon sa sinasabi ni Doc Jen na 3 beses niya binanggit na at the end of what AI provides you, for example, what ChatGPT provides you, you also have to think. Di mo na lang susundin yun. Critical thinking pa din in your decision as an educator. So that's one. Another use of AI sa akin is yung ang bilis din kasi mag-convert. For example, kung mag-explain ako ng teorya halimbawa, meron certain level na parang gusto ko pa siyang i-simplify para hindi napapansin na theory na pala yun. Parang ganon. So, maybe through activities, through stories. So, nagpapatulong ako sa AI para gumawa nun. Kunyari, paano ka explain tong theory na to using a narrative of pero alam naman natin na walang culture yung AI. And yun yung bias ko talaga. Gusto ko kasi contextualized yung narrative, yung stories, yung ginagamit or yung activities. So doon na pumapasok yung teacher flavor or kung tama man yung term na yun na kung ano yung binigay ni AI, ilagay mo na yung ano mo, kung paano ka, yung teaching style mo. So ako gusto ko and on the other side of the coin, gusto ko rin na wala siyang culture. So pag humingi ako ng unbiased opinion or unbiased insight or unbiased information, magbibigay talaga siya. And then, lalagyan ko na ng bias. And then I think about it. Parang ganun. Yun lang. Thanks.
Sir Jeremiah,
Yes.
magdagdag din ako. Naalala ko tuloy yung one possible for teachers, yung pag-create ng ng mga rubrics. Noon dati, naku, sobrang hirap gumawa ng mga rubrics, but because of AI, sobrang dali na lang niyang gawin ngayon. And that is where now, katulad sinabi ni Doc Jen kanina and even ni Jen, that is where you apply yung critical thinking, whether tama ba yung nilabas niya, tama ba to, mali ba to, what will I accept? So kasi di ba pwede mo naman siyang happen in the rubric. So yung pag-generate ngayon ng rubric ngayon is now easier as compared before. Sobrang dali na lang niya gawin, and aside from that, bukod sa paggawa ng ng mga rubrics, siguro earlier, actually ako tinetest ko na din ngayon on using this AI, although hindi naman siya on how to use this yung mga submissions based on the rubrics. So yan, so tinetest ko ngayon yan. Yan yung aking pinag-aaralan ngayon, how effective it is. So ang observation ko, hindi pa, nagkakamali-mali pa rin siya. Yan. Pero we could also work on that, on that path na pag-aralan din natin siya on how it can help us check yung mga submission ng students. Pero at the end of the day, teacher is on top of this AI tool. AI tools should not replace teachers. AI tools should be used by teachers as tools. Period.
All right. May dagdag ko lang Sir Jeremiah. Since nakita natin yung benefits ng AI tools, binild Big Sky, meron tayong 50 AI tools everyday, bago yan, 50 lahat yan I don't know if you have used any of those. Well and good, no? I don't know if how many AI tools you're using right now. There might be 2, 3 or more. Talaga you get to be overwhelmed with so many AIs this time. Kasi yan ang labanan ngayon AI na. But my advice is to get only the 3 AI tools. You get AI tools that you really comfortable using and you really know how to control and to manipulate. Ganyan. So this time, our role as teachers is to triangulate, our words. Yeah, because AI is not perfect. No, may mali siyang sinasabi kasi galing yan sa iba-ibang tao na hindi natin kung anong credentials ang naglagay diyan, 'di ba? So if this is what you generate, you verify, no? Tama kaya yan? If it is a research, no, AI will not give you specifically OpenAI will not give you reliable references, no? Kahit na i-check mo, wala naman to Niloloko ako nito Totoo yan. Wala talaga, no? Kaya ang mindset din sana natin ay ito, no? Meron akong na-create, I verify, no? Pag na-verify ko, tama ba? Okay ba to para sa akin? Boses ko ba to? Ako ba to? Okay, go. Go ahead and use it. No? Kasi ang mindset natin magbabago na rin with the presence of AI. No, this time we have to adapt to this AI kasi it's really very powerful. No, talagang napakagaling niya. So this time na-realize ko din, no, as a user of AI, no, gumagaling ako dahil mas yung mga brain cells ko bumubukas dahil itong AI napakagaling. Ang dami niyang sinasabi. Aba, meron palang ganon. What about, you see, with our conversations with AI, we become better teachers. No, this time we are become better in asking questions. Kasi as Filipinos, we don't ask questions, di ba? But with the use of AI, you can ask a lot of questions this time. Yun lang.
May ano lang ako. May nag-message ulit sa akin, sabi, because I mentioned na unbiased yung output ng AI for me. Then, sir, I'll go against AI as an unbiased kasi mas language lang ng sources niya in English. Tama talaga 'yun. Tama po 'yun. There are certain industries, practices or fields siguro na ano talaga na ang inclination ng AI ay mas western as compared to ano. So, yun. Salamat po. Yun lang naman po. Tas yung sinabi ni Sir JJ, sorry baka na ano ko lang na nag-move already and how it helps us. Yung top 3 daw natin na ano, AI tools. So,
Okay. So, top 3. We're only speaking of GPTs kasi marami kasing AI tools Sobrang dami niya. So, since we're speaking of GPT, ang palagi kong ginagamit, actually, hindi lang siya top 3. Meron akong I use Copilot, I use Claude, at saka of course, si ChatGPT. Yan. So, what I do normally is I give the same prompt and then I compare which one is better. And sometimes, what I do is combine. So, dun ko siya ngayon nagagamit as a tool. So, hindi lang siya when it gives you the response, you just take it as it is. Hindi. So, ganun na ginagawa ko. I compare, I double check, and then sometimes I also decide kung totally useless yung mga yan. Yeah. So it's Copilot, Gemini, Claude, and si ChatGPT. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Kayo si Doc Jen at Sir Jen. Actually, yun yung next question ko. Thank you, Sir JJ, for asking that, no? Doc Jen and Sir Jen,
ako kapag general information, no, general knowledge, I use ChatGPT, general, no, and I also use Gemini. As Sir Roger said, gamit din sa CET. I think ginagamit namin ChatGPT, Gemini. Try nyo Gemini. But these are free version. siguro mas maganda kapag paid version. Baka mas malalim din ang inyong conversation. So ChatGPT, and then yung i-try yung Trinka AI, or Jenny, kasi ang name ko Jenny. You try Jenny. Jenni. Trinka, Trinka. Trinka. 4 na yon.
Thank you,
Yun
Doc.
lang. Para
Sir
basically,
Jen.
AI at saka ChatGPT and Genesis. Genesis. Yun lang.
Thank you, Doc Jen. Kayo, Sir Jen, anong usual yung ginagamit?
Sa akin, ipilit ko talaga na to limit. Pero, hindi, pati Grammarly pala. Pati Grammarly. And yung personalized suggested music ng Spotify. Yun yung gusto kong AI. Yun talaga yung favorite ko na AI. Para may bagong sounds lagi. Ayun lang.
Sige, sorry. Ito, medyo lalayo ko, pero one question lang. Kasi bigla. Considered bang AI yung ito para sa mga seasoned personnel na nandito sa usaping ito, no? Naalala niyo yung PIN sa Microsoft Word 1990s?
Yung
AI siya, di ba?
Yung
O yung
Microsoft Word.
tumatalon-talon. So, wala lang. Naalala ko lang siya kasi napag-uusapan natin yung mga tumutulong sa atin, no? And yun yung earliest form of AI na naaalala ko. Nung nakita ko yun. Tito ko pa yung nagturo na i-click mo yan, tutulungan ka yan. So, growing up, at least nung meron pang ganun.
Assistant
Yes,
siya.
assistant. Yun, thank you for sharing yung role. And siguro para sa mga student dito, no, na nakikinig. Kailangan nyo din tandaan na yung mga tools na share nila Sir Roger, Doc Jen at saka ni Sir Jen, definitely magagamit ninyo rin. However, gaya ng paulit yung user, yung tao, ang masusunod. And we as humans should use our critical thinking to check. Siguro, if I may share, ako rin, personally, gumagamit din ako ng GPT. Lalo na yung mga bigla ang kailangan gawin. I have this one particular experience wherein kailangan kong gumawa ng isang presentation. Tapos humingi siya ng, ang specific na hinihingi ay different laws about a certain topic. I let ChatGPT enumerate all, pero inisa-isa ko siya. After ko isa-isahin, dinoble check ko kung tama. And unfortunately, yun nga, nabanggit din ni Doc Jen kanina, no, na hindi parating tama si Gen AI. So yun lang para sa lahat ng nanonood, lalo ng mga estudyante, magandang tool ang AI, pero at the end of the day, meron kayong due diligence dapat na ginagawa to double check if it's correct, if it's true, and yun, of course, wag nyo lang i-copy paste. Siguro moving forward, no, maganda na napag-usapan na natin yung tawag dito, AI as a tool. Nabanggit nga ni Doc Jen kanina, no, para siyang tutor at effective siya for diverse learners. So going into inclusion naman, no, sa tingin nyo, ano yung magiging education?
Sa akin, mas madali mag-handle ng mga students with learning needs pag gumagamit ng artificial intelligence. Kasi may mga AI tools na pwedeng gamitin halimbawa estudyante na ADHD, ganyan. No, alam mo ang mga batang ADHD ayaw nila ng makalat, ayaw nila ng di ba? Siguro pwede mong i-advise yung bata na gumamit ng ganitong tool, halimbawa Notable AI. So this one will help you organize your task, no? And at the same time, it will help you explain this very complex idea to a simpler one. Yung mga ganyan. So talaga lang hahanapin mo lang kung ano yung need ng bata, no? Kung kaya mong ibigay mo na para dito sa batang to. At subok mo na makatulong siya para yung bata hindi siya ma-delay doon sa task na gagawin niya o kaya hindi siya maiwan bumagsak sa klase. Ganon.
Yeah, thank you po, Doc Jen. Sir Roger and Sir Jen, meron ba kayong experience wherein you used AI while handling students with learning needs?
Well, sa kasi ako eh. So, siguro doon na lang ako dadaan. So, yung if we have data about students, si AI kasi yan yung strength niya to analyze data. So, paano ngayon makakatulong si AI with regard to the inclusion efforts of BNIL? So yun. So kung may data yung AI nga to analyze, magkakaroon tayo ng parang early warning systems in which pag may na-analyze siguro si AI, it could inform us as early as possible. So dun ko siya nakikita yung paggamit ng AI. Yeah.
Thank you, Sir Roger. Sige po, Sir Jen.
Sa akin, even the simplest text-to-speech functions, is a good example of how AI can be inclusive used dun sa konteksto na yun. Pero personally, kasi 'di ba tayo if you have a student with a specific learning need, makakatanggap ka ng letter. And so ang ginawa ko was nagpatulong ako sa AI to generate na mas fitting doon generate ng activity na mas fit doon sa condition or sa specific learning need ng bata. Pero ito bias ko lang naman to. Ayaw ko kasi na siya lang yung gagawa nun. Gusto ko lahat gagawa. So yung activity na yun is addressed for everyone. Pero I hope na nagawa ko siya na parang ginawa kong even yung playing grounds through AI. Dahil yun. Yun lang yung wala akong maisip na iba pang way na ginawa ko siya eh. Pero actually natatakot nga akong gawin yun, baka pumalpak eh.
Okay naman. Thank you for sharing, no. Siguro ako rin kung pwede ako mag-share as an advocate of inclusion and AI use. Nakikita ko si AI and lagi ko tong sinasabi sa mga estudyante at sa mga nakakausap ko na I consider AI as a great equalizer. And maganda yung nabanggit ni Sir Jen, no, na it levels the playing field. And totoo, no. There are several AI tools na pwedeng magamit ng isang estudyante. Na yun, pwede rin gamitin even those without condition kasi it really helps. Siguro to give a few, though personally hindi ko pa sila nagagamit, no. Though nagbasa-basa ako with the reviews and all. Read and Write, Co-Writer, ChoiceWorks, Trello, ano pa ba? Wait, I have a list kasi. Yung Calm and Headspace, it's also an app. So there are a lot of applications. Condition. Pwede rin sila magamit ng students na even without condition and tayo as educators na makakapag-assist sa atin na sa daily na ginagawa natin, no. And siguro I want to point out na maganda yung nabanggit ni Sir Jen with regards to asking AI to create an activity specifically for that student na merong condition, pero pinagawa niya. Ang point niya is that pasok lahat. Kumbaga equitable ang pagtuturo natin. So that means na hindi dahil ginawa yung activity na yon for a person with, let's say, ADHD, hindi na siya pwede sa individuals without ADHD. So pwede yun. So maganda yung kwentong yun. Aside from activities, meron pa ba kayong naiisip na parang pwede pang maitulong sa kanila? Ay, sige po, Sir Roger.
Okay. Siguro, not only for yung sa mga PWDs, but also yung sa to everyone. Yung sa ano natin, yung parang career service. Di ba, yung mga graduating students natin, they prepare yung mga biodata nila, yung mga ganyan. They prepare yung siguro yung mga application letter, or even actually use yung mga GPTs to practice interview questions, and then they will also respond to the questions generated by AIs, and then ando doon na yung conversation nila. So, yan, dyan palagay ko nakakatulong din ang AI natin for our graduating students. Not only for preparing their letters, application letters, their biodatas, but more on the interviews. Kasi they can practice interview eh. Halimbawa, they will be applying for a job in this industry, so on and so forth. So by giving those pieces of information, Gen AI now can generate possible questions in relation to what he's applying for. Tapos, si graduating student naman can type his response. Tapos, natututo na siya ngayon, napapractice na siya for an interview, although hindi naman natin alam, di ba, kung ano talaga yung interview. But because of that, these students can gain confidence kasi nape-prepare siya, hindi ba? So, yun yung doon ko sa nakikita aside from yung mga nabanggit natin kanina. Thank you.
Okay. Sir Jen, Jem and Jen. One of the challenging tasks of a teacher is to assess the many hours do you spend writing feedback to your students' output. Minsan sasabihin mo, ayoko mo na mag-check, hindi ko alam, ang dami ko nang sinusulat. Well done na lang ba? Very good. O kaya wala na lang. But with the use of AI, no, you can give a substantive feedback. But of course, you have to know how to use yung giving feedback to the students' output. Like, for example, if you use Magic School AI, there are so many AI para sa teacher. This is designed by teacher for teachers. Yung giving of feedback, kunyari, napakahirap yan gawin, di ba? With the use of AI, your task that is done 3 hours can be finished in probably 1 hour or 30 minutes. And with that, you can have more time for your kids or for other works, di ba? So it's so easy, but kailangan mo lang aralin, and you have to be very careful. What are the things that you have to input? Things that should not be included in grading the work of your students using AI. Yeah, so giving feedback, that's one thing that AI helps teachers.
Thank you, Doc Jen. Sir Jen. So meron na tayong assistive tools, meron na tayong data sa mga estudyante, feedback, practice. Sir Jen, may naisip ka ba bang possible help of AI?
Parang sa ngayon nabanggit na nila. Siguro later on if makaisip din ako ng ng
Siguro sa akin na lang, ano, yung nabanggit ni Doc Jen, ano kasi, yung nagiging personalized na ngayon yung responses. Parang pilit, parang may template lang tayo, tapos di ba? Pero ngayon, depending on the situation, if you can ask yung GPTs to create a response for you on your behalf, nagiging personalized na yung ano eh, yung pagsagot mo sa students, especially yung mga communications natin or communication natin. So, ano siya, that is where AI can help us. Na minsan nga, ang iniisip, hindi ko to naisip, yung ganon. Pwede pala to, yung ganon. Pwede ko pala, dapat pala idagdag ko to, hindi ko to naisip. Pero, ang tagal-tagal mo na sa service, ang tagal-tagal mo na nagtuturo, pero hindi mo naiisip yun, hindi ba? Pero, with the use of that, yun, dun ko siya na, ano eh, dun ko siya na-value, yung mga ganon na, one time, merong estudyante sa akin na nagre-request na bigyan siya ng extension, pero all throughout the term, hindi siya uma-attend, yung mga ganun. May sagot ako. Ay, sobrang ganda. Maiiyak ka sa ano. Maiiyak ka dun sa result, pambira. So, dun ko siya na-experience. Yeah. So, thank you, thank you.
Thank you po, no. Siguro since napag-usapan yung communication, naisip ko lang bigla, pwede rin gamitin si AI to draft letters na sensitive. Na pag hindi ka sure, 'di ba? Kapag hindi ka 100% sure if you're using the right terminologies. I'm sure marami sa atin na until now naiilang pa rin sa pagta-type na if it's politically correct ba given our background. Syempre ibang generation ng mga kabataan ngayon. It helps, no. Say before, sige po,
Sir
Sir
Jem,
Roger.
Sir Jeremiah, since binanggit mo yan, may naalala tuloy ako.
Sige po,
Yung alam
sir.
mo yun, yung pagka yung halimbawa naka-receive ka ng email, tapos galit na galit ka. Tapos gusto mong pagmumurahin, pagsabihan ng masasamang salita. I-type mo lahat yun so you can vent yung kay GPT. Maganda na yung letter mo. Pero na-vent out mo na yung sama ng loob mo.
Ganda yun, sir, no?
Oo.
Cathartic na nga siya. Napaganda pa niya yung pagkakasabi mo. Naging maayos pa yung pagkakasend mo ng reply. Sige, before
I have a
sige,
Sir.
sige, sir.
two things no I
Sige.
remembered since you mentioned yung being politically correct. Friends know me, so alam nila how I speak. So, and there was a time that I had to write a letter na I know that I should be politically. So I really tried. Tapos dinaan ko kay ChatGPT, include ganito, include ganyan, ganito. Yun lang yung prompts eh. So sinulat ko siya. Pinabasa ko kay Gemini. Sabi sa akin ni Gemini, alam mo, kung nito. Pero dahil kapatid kita, alam kong hindi ikaw to. So, similarly to what Sir Roger said, no, parang it filters out eh. Yung pinagaganda niya also. And then one tip that one story also that I remember is that I was frustrated at gusto ko gumawa ng meron akong binili online and then di maganda. So gagawa ko ng hindi ginawa ni ChatGPT. Kasi hindi daw yun, parang I forgot the term that ChatGPT generated, pero hindi siya gumagawa ng ganun kasi hindi daw siya professional. So nahiya ako kasi parang wow, so mas professional ka kaysa sa So I think Sir Roger, ginawa ko yun sa sa office, pinakita ko sa inyo kasi natawa na lang ako na okay. So hindi ko to gagawin. So
konti,
G.
Sir Jem.
Yes po.
How do we encourage, kasi nakita ko sa questions, how do you encourage creativity now? Critical thinking with the use of AI. Nako, ako ay bilang isang teacher, na magsasalita ako bilang isang teacher, I give premium this time. Nagbago din ang aking babaguhin ko din yung aking grading system. No, kung noon mataas ang aking reflection, yung writing, mataas yun, kunyari 25%. Ngayon, bababaan ko na siya, no? Tataasan ko na, not siguro, but I'm certain, papalitan ko na siya sa class participation. Dati kasi ayoko ng face to face kasi malayo ang bahay ko. Tapos nagta-travel ako, yung travel ko sana ang dami ko nang ginawa, kaya mas gusto ko dito sa bahay. But in this time with the use of AI, I saw the benefits of being with the students, no, discussing with the students. With the use of ChatGPT, can leverage, that's the term, AI, to create, for example, a discussion, or you ask your students to use the same prompt. Alam mo, pag sinabi mo yung estudyante mo, isang question, ibigay mo sa kanila lahat yan. Mag-generate yan ng iba-ibang sagot. Kaya paano mo malalaman na nag-cheat yung bata? So ngayon, ang gagawin natin, dahil nandyan na yung AI, gamitin natin siya pag-generate ng mga issues, and then that becomes our discussion in the classroom live. No, so we would know who are those students who are participating, who are not participating. Siguro sabi ko nga, magandang isama ko sa grading system ko yung prompt generating. Yung ganon. So in my reflections, probably if I'm going to give one, I ask the students, what are the prompts that you use? And how did you feel using all these prompts? No, so it's really a paradigm shift. So that is more important now. It's but I think the most crucial with the age of AI is the process of using it to our students. Yeah.
Thank you po. Sakto na sagot din yung isang question ng isa sa mga inclusion champion natin, no? Attorney. Sige, meron isang question dito from the audience. Then, for the sake of time, meron na lang akong last 2 questions. Pero let's answer muna yung question. Defect or writing paragraph, and AI defect is inaccurate, only writing to the audience who judges to deaf students' grammars. Okay, so alam naman natin, no, na ang deaf community, iba ang way of writing compared to us. Yes, technically English ang gamit nilang language when writing, pero iba yung pagkakasulat nila. So, meron ba tayong studies or meron tayong idea sa grammar ng deaf community? Specifically for the Filipino deaf community.
I don't have an answer for that. I don't know. I have yet to try. Pero that's a very interesting insight, because what if the syntax of the deaf community can be translated for the others to understand? Kung ganun yung mangyayari, ibig sabihin, mas malilesen natin in terms of writing, mas malilesen natin yung chances of miscommunication. Diba? I don't know, ayun nga, I don't have an answer for that, pero I hope someone, especially from SDEAS, can not even do a research on it, kasi
sa palagay ko, ang pwedeng gawin diyan ay ang ChatGPT or any AI tool, if you are specific with the prompt that you're giving, very specific, talagang ibibigay niya yung specific na answer. Or predictive siya, pag hindi mo tapos, itutuloy niya, no? Itutuloy niya. But ito ang pwede mong gawin, no? For the deaf community, for example, you have to give a role, no? Persona to AI limitations. Kasi pag ganyan, maiintindihan ka niya, So the AI will understand, no, your sentence, no, what you're trying to ask him, what you're trying to tell AI, and in that, no, it can help you communicate, no, with AI, and whatever questions you have, ibibigay niyo yun, provided that you give AI again yung persona. So very important kasi sa paggamit ng AI yung persona, yung prompt mo no? Tapos I call pag gumamit ka ng AI, kailangan mo yung persona. You are a researcher, you are a teacher, you are a deaf student, college student, you are a mother, a chef, you give a persona. Number two, the prompt. What is the purpose? Why you're asking ChatGPT or any AI tools? The parameter, ano ba ang gusto mong ano ba ang gusto mong niyang gawin? Very, very specific, no? Very specific. And meron pa palang isang pinalimutan ko. Prayer na lang, magdasal ka.
Thank you, Doc Jenna. So with regard to that, kasi yung ating LLM or yung large language model kasi siya eh. So it will only act and react based on its training data. So kung ang training data niya ay yung usual, hindi yung pang-deaf na or whatever that is, hindi niya yun maintindihan. Pero if let's say we will train yung ating AI on how yung community, matitrain siya at kung ano mai-interpret siya ng tama. So it's a matter of training yung AI natin. So yan. So we will provide AI, these GPTs, kasi pwede ka namang, meron kasing mga ano eh, may mga maker, may mga shaper, may mga user ng AI kasi. So yung mga maker ng AI, yun, sila ang pwedeng gumawa nun as long as we'll provide them with data. Yan. So pwede siyang mangyari.
Thank you po. Thank you po dun sa question and thank you dun sa answers. Personal note, ang exciting nito, lalo na kasi from again, as an advocate, ang laking bagay nito, gaya ng nabanggit ko kanina, no, AI is the great equalizer talaga. Kasi if ever man moving forward, no, matrain natin mga ng syntax ng deaf community, mas madali tayong makapag-convert ng mga material into an assistive material. So ang ganda ng potential nito. Personally, I'm excited. Sige po, due to time constraint, pagsasamahin ko lang yung last question ko, okay? Pagsamahin ko lang siya. Moving forward, ano yung nakikita yung challenges ni AI? In terms of also, aside from that, ano yung nakikita yung future ng education with AI?
So sige, bilisan ko na lang.
Challenges.
Yeah. So nakita kong concern yung over-reliance. Pangalawa, yung bias and fairness. Kasi nasa training data eh. AI will always react based on its training data. So kung ang training niya, kaya 'di ba, palaging sinasabi yun sa mga free AI Gen AIs natin, 'di ba, yung kanyang data is only up to this date, kung 2021 yun o kung ano man date yun. Kasi nga yun ang limitation niya. So yun yung nakikita kong concern. Tapos ano pa yung future education ni Binild? Ako nakikita ko siguro more on development of pansin, not only Binil but also other schools because we have these Gen AIs. Thank you.
While AI offers immense possibilities, it really presents challenges like data privacy, as we mentioned, data privacy, ethical use, and the digital divide. As a Benildian community, we address these concerns with the data policies that we have created. Siguro later on, ethical gaps. No? With this, I see AI as an enabler for creative and critical thinking, lifelong learning, and equitable access. So Benild will continue to innovate responsibly, ensuring that AI serves our students and society, of course, according to our Lasallian values.
Sige, Sir Jen.
As an institution, I am certain that we will continue to try to find ways to maximize available technology to make the teaching and learning experience of everyone, regardless of a teaching associate, non-teaching associate, and students. Lahat tayo teachers, lahat tayo learners. So we will embrace what is available na technology to make it better. Now, yung sinabi ni Doc Jen, yung ganda nga AI, and pati ni Sir Roger, ako naman gusto ko naman i-highlight yung challenges, or siguro not really challenges, pero things that we should always remember, no, as educators, as AI users, siguro ganyan. There will always be changing of roles. As a teacher, as a student, magpapalit yung roles dahil sa technology, dahil what is available. I remember yung sinabi ni Sir Tujel during the AI, sabay sila. Pero I think mas nauna yung technology ngayon. So naghahabol ba yung tao? Tama ba yung term? I'm not so sure. Pero as people, or as AI users, or no, actually as people, we should understand that technology will bring forth change, and yung change na yon, dapat matuto din tayo to mag-adapt dun sa changing of the roles. Yung teachers na, we always say that, diba? Yung gumagawa ng scaffolding for learners. And maybe that's still the case, pero iba lang yung approach ngayon dahil may AI na. Maybe we ask a different kind of question now. Maybe we use different assessment methods. Katulad nung sinanggit ni Doc Jen, parang talaga tatanungin na natin ngayon kung ano yung prompt. Diba? Parang hindi mo yan maiisip before eh. Kasi ngayon, the questions that you ask ChatGPT, ibabato niya sa'yo. So pag-change ng roles, we should also take into consideration yung changing ng perspectives as teachers or as students also. Siguro yung teachers, kung ayaw mo sila mangdaya, kung whatever man pandaraya means for you, maybe you should ask a different question. Or maybe you should change the assessment tool. Or maybe you should change your style of teaching or something like that. It's not an easy task talaga naman. But if it's one way we can adapt. And yun, culture is very important para sa akin. Yun yung, I guess I mentioned, yun yung bias ko. So as we move forward, sana makagawa rin tayo ng certain culture kung saan we embrace, or not really ka man o hindi, taking into consideration each and everyone's contexts. Kasi nga, as I mentioned a while ago, technology affects not only the education part, pero pati yung kabuhayan on different aspects. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yun, thank you very much, Sir Roger, Doc Jen, and Sir Jen. As always, fourth year na natin tong nagdi-discuss, no, na may webinar. Siyempre, hindi matatapos to, no, without us giving thanks to our guests. So, yun, siyempre, magbibigay ako ng certificate. So yun, first is for Doc Jen, no? The Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Education and AI and Biniljan Education webinar on April 19, 2024, signed by yours truly, Jeremiah Adriano, Inclusion Advocacy Unit Head of CIE, and Martin Romero, Director of CIE. Ms. Ange, pa-picture.
Yes po, ready.
Thank you.
Doc Jen, everyone na nasa panel po, smile po tayo. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Sure naman, no? This Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Mr. Rogelio Delcano for sharing his expertise at the Education, AI and Biniljan Education webinar on April 19, 2024, signed by Jeremiah Adriano, Inclusion Advocacy Unit Head of the Center for Inclusive Education, and Martin Romero, Director, Center for Inclusive Education. Another photo po, Miss Ange, thank you.
1, 2, 3.
Last na to, Miss Ange, promise. The certificate of appreciation is given to Mr. Genesis Adriano for sharing his expertise at the Education, AI, and Biniljan Education webinar on April 19, 2024, signed by the other Adriano, Jeremiah Adriano, Inclusion Advocacy Unit Head of the Center for Inclusive Education, and Martin Romero, Director of the Center for Inclusive Education. Ms. Ange, please, thank you.
Sige po, ngiti po yung dalawang Adriano. 1, 2, 3. Okay po, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Sige, una sa lahat, ito na yung closing remarks. Promise kasi magla-lunch na tayo, guys. Closing remarks. Una sa lahat, thank you very much for coming. Alam ko na this is a very important topic. Kasi yung AI, nandito na siya at wala tayong magagawa, nandito na siya. At kapag iniwan natin siya, well, maiiwan tayo. Okay? Sorry, naglag ba ako dito. Anyway, siguro 3 points lang from the discussion. No? Number 1 is paradigm shift. Nabanggit ng CET team, no, ang important ng paradigm shift. As educators, magbabago na yung kung paano tayo magtuturo, at as students, magbabago rin yung way of learning. So hindi tayo pwedeng magpahuli. We have to adapt. Number 2 is, I want to emphasize yung nabanggit ni Sir Roger kanina na AI should not replace teachers. As educators, hindi dapat tayo mapalitan. Gusto ko yung word na should, yung dapat. Kasi the burden is nasa atin as educators. Dapat mag-adapt tayo, dapat mag-adjust tayo with the changing time natin from other institutions. We have to be innovative and inclusive sa kung paano tayo nagtuturo. And lastly, I want to remind everyone, not only the educators, pero all AI users, no, students, non-teaching associates, and even the parents, na AI is just a tool. Gaya ng paulit-ulit na sinasabi ni Doc Jen kanina, yung critical thinking ng bawat individual na gumagamit ng AI is very important. Kasi at the end of the day, yung user ay yung tao. So yun, thank you very much sa Center for Inclusive Education, sa Center for Center for Educational Technology and Best Buddies Binild for making this possible. And thank you for the CIE team for organizing this. And of course, sa dalawa nating interpreter na laging nandiyan para sa atin. No, Sir Brian and Sir Jeff, thank you very much for making this accessible para sa lahat. With that, again, thank you sa lahat. Thank you for coming. Hopefully, sa next webinar namin, nandun ulit kayo. Kung hindi man siya webinar at face-to-face, hopefully nandun pa rin kayo, no? So yun, have a wonderful Friday. Anong oras na ba? Wonderful Friday afternoon na. Wonderful afternoon, and sana masarap ang ulam nyo. Thank you very much and bye-bye.